All right, now, this interview, hopefully, is for you. I was reading the intro and I wish I was this lucky. Perhaps you've inherited a large sum of money, A, B, or you've just received a lump payout, or, put it this way, you've just won the lottery. Either way, when you have money that you've never had, the first instinct is to, you know it, go out, buy a big house, big car, fancy phones, you name it, you do it, and it's the wrong thing to do, believe it or not. But our next guest says adopting this attitude rather than seeking lifestyle financial planning advice can be the beginning of the end of your newfound wealth. Alec Riddle is a certified financial planner, and he's at Old Mutual Private Wealth Management, and he joins us now from our Port Elizabeth studios. Thanks so much, Alec. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Leanne.
So you're telling me that if I won the lottery, it's not a good idea for me to go and buy a yacht and a private island?
It might not be a bad idea, but I wouldn't suggest you do it immediately. I think the first advice I would give is not to tell anybody. I think most of the world's sporting superstars, when they make money, they have a big entourage who help them to spend all the money and they're left with nothing. Suddenly you just get friends you never thought you had. And some of those friends give you bad advice. So I think the first bit of advice would be is tell as few people as possible. Secondly, to pause, to try and defer the purchase. You know, we all get emotionally charged up to buy that yacht. I think if you can just put off buying that big ticket item for a couple of days, emotions will subside a little bit and a little bit more sense might prevail. And then, of course, you know, getting good advice would be a priority.
Yeah, I like that, because, I mean, it is. I mean, the temptation is certainly there and you want to. But, you know, you always hear about these people who do go and win the lottery and they sort of have this massive amount of money and then a year later, it's all gone just because they don't know how to spend it, they don't know how to save it. They, as you say, find friends in places they didn't even know they had friends, and that money comes as easy, it goes as easy as it comes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think life is all about spirals. You can either have a positive or a negative spiral, and things spiral out of control. You know, you start buying things and you know, when you get something, you know, think to anything you've had in life. You aspire to something. As soon as you've got it, you sort of want something more, you want something bigger, and you just start buying bigger and bigger items, and eventually, if you don't have a good governance plan of your own, your money will run out.
Yeah. So let's start giving advice. I mean, if you do come into a lump sum of money, as we gave just a couple of examples, I mean, you may have been left something in somebody's will, or you did manage to win the lottery, or who knows, perhaps you had a good night at the slot machine. Who knows which way you got it? But what do you recommend people do? What is the first thing to do once you get that lump sum of money?
Yeah, I think it all depends upon, you know, your upbringing, your values, your integrity, and so forth. And everybody's circumstances are different. But I think the first thing I would do is to seek professional advice, to have a good governance plan, to look at saying, helping somebody or having somebody help you to identify what do you need to be financially independent for the rest of your life. And that might be taking 50% or 80% of that money and sort of putting it away for that purpose. Then the balance of 20 or 50% could be your Las Vegas fund. And you could go and you could blow it or buy the yacht. I'm not advocating that. But, you know, rather spend the surplus rather than what you truly need. By getting a good advice, you know, that would entail, you know, how do I invest this? If you're an impulse person likely to spend it, then you might want to tie the money up that it gives you a regular monthly income for the rest of your life. But it's all about finding out the circumstances of that individual, the background of that individual, and giving good professional advice. Unfortunately, there is bad advice out there. And where does bad advice come from? It comes from people who prey on the weak. And generally, a person who's experienced a financial windfall is seen as a soft target. And then you'll find unscrupulous people looking to give advice about all the wrong things. And, you know, it's easy to get caught up in the emotion. You promise the world. And, you know, generally, if the if it looks too easy, it usually is too easy.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, we also find ourselves in quite a difficult financial situation. The economy is not the greatest right now. So I suppose what you need is a little bit of advice as well. Is where do you think is a good place to invest your money? Some say cash is king. Others say take it offshore, invest it offshore. Some say have exposure all over the place. What are you suggesting to people?
Well, I think you've actually summed it up. You know, well-diversified portfolio. You know, in cash or money market for your short-term goals, so you're not exposed to the volatility of the markets. You do need some offshore exposure to protect, you know, your big-ticket items that are related to currency, protecting your lifestyle. You know, trips, vehicles are all currency-related. It's also a bit of an insurance policy. And then locally, you would look at a well-diversified portfolio as opposed to, you know, going into just one specific sector or company as such.
Yeah. What lifestyle planning, I suppose maybe just define it for us. What is lifestyle planning? You know, it sounds like something for only the rich. But can anybody do lifestyle planning?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I think lifestyle financial planning is very different to traditional planning in the sense that, you know, I use the acronym MPT, money, passion, time. Most people focus just on the money. I think it's important when you sit down with anybody to find out what is their passion, what is the life they want to live, what is the lifestyle they want to live. And also bear in mind that you've got a lot of time. You know, we only die once, but we live every day. So you've got a lot of time available to yourself. So it's working in the passion, the time, finding out what are the true goals. It's pointless having a fantastic financial plan that gives you an income, but then you can't enjoy a lifestyle. For example, you might have children or grandchildren, and they may be sitting overseas. They may be sitting, you know, far away from you in South Africa. And if you don't have the access to the funds to be able to go and visit them, you know, much of your passion is gone. When you become a parent or grandparent, your passion is your children or your grandchildren. So you've got to find out what is that passion, what are the hobbies. What does this person want to do? Because if you're in a high-powered business position, for example, and suddenly you retire, or even if you get this windfall and suddenly you stop working, what are you going to do with your time? You need to fill that with productive hours. Otherwise, the clock will shut down and it will be time to exit Mother Earth.
All right, just a final question. Where can people get access if you want to get help from somebody like you? I mean, where do you go? To somewhere like Old Mutual, one of the big financial service providers?
Yeah, I think first of all, the Financial Planning Institute in South Africa has a certification program where you get certified financial planners. That is the highest qualification you can get. So I would always advocate a CFP professional. Obviously, Old Mutual and Private Wealth Management, which is a division of Old Mutual, has a large team of certified financial planners all over the country. And yeah, they could look at contacting Private Wealth Management to find out exactly, you know, where they could contact somebody like myself.
All right, Alec, thank you very much for talking to us. Alec Riddle is a certified financial planner at Old Mutual Private Wealth Management, giving advice to those that have got access to new wealth. And, you know, the reality is that, you know, you can do a very quick Google search as to very famous, well-known people that had all the money in the world. And you look at them and you think, oh, I wish I had their lifestyle. And now they are worth nothing, and it's very difficult. I'll give you two names. One actor, Nicolas Cage, squandered $150 million, and he's saying he was declared bankrupt in 2009. And I suppose the latest is Johnny Depp. He is also declared bankrupt, and this is money that he just hit rock bottom, and there is a list that goes on and on and on. So be careful with your money. Let's take a break. See you after this.